boys and badass babes. It is your doctor of, how can we say, immoral advice, Dr. Vixen. And as always, hit those likes and subscribe buttons down below. Today, before we get into our video, I just want to first of all take a moment to, how can I say this politely, to recognize that we've recently, in the last 2 to 3 weeks, lost one of the great ones here in America. And who am I talking about? I know we have celebrity deaths. It seems like a couple of months or so. What I'm talking about is we've lost, to me, one of the greatest human beings on the planet, Dr. Ruth. Now, for those of you who don't know who Dr. Ruth was, she was an elderly old woman who taught a generation of women, particularly my generation of women, that it is okay to love thyself, with thyself, and a piece of plastic. All right? I'm not joking. She taught us the M word so we could have the O word. All right? And I'm not kidding you. If you don't know who I'm talking about, just Google search or YouTube search this, Dr. Ruth and infomercials, and you won't be disappointed at the results, because I guarantee you, to hear this sweet, innocent-looking old lady talking about the female anatomy, male anatomy, and what you should do with it. I guarantee you, if you have an afternoon where you're not doing anything and you need a good laugh, just do that. You'll be psychologically scarred, but you'll enjoy it. Now, today, Dr. Vixen will be answering 3 letters today that were written to somebody else. You know, like those advice columnists, or when people call in looking for advice. Okay, I've intercepted those letters or those communications. I got them right here, and we're going to be answering them Vixen style. Now, for the record, let me define Vixen style. Now, is Vixen style illegal? To quote me, a few rappers, define crime. Is it immoral? Yeah, I would say there's a better than odds chance. Is it worth it? Hell yes! And it's more therapeutic than spending hundreds of dollars talking your problems out to some therapist. Just keep in mind, there's a good chance it's illegal, so don't do these. All right, so our first one. All right, we'll just call her Hopeless in Hawaii. Dear, and then she wrote to somebody else, we'll just call it Dear Dr. Vixen. My boyfriend is a gamer. All right, well, nothing wrong with that. Many men are. Earlier this year, he proposed to me, and we're getting married next year. All right, you see, not everything's bad. All right, so you're getting married. Congratulations, Hopeless. Okay, my boyfriend has been hounding me to get the newest gaming PC. I told him we can't afford it, but after many months of him nagging and crying about it, I finally told him he can buy a PC for his gaming. All right? So, sometimes it's okay to, make concessions in a relationship. All right? Nothing wrong here. He went out and spent our entire allowance, or should I say savings, for the venue. All right, I can see where the problem is starting. Okay, continue. We had around $8,000 saved up to get the venue. Well, for the record, venues aren't cheap. So $8,000, that's actually on the lighter side. Okay, just saying. Vixen knows a few things about a wedding or two. Anyways, so he spent $8,000. He bought an amazing new PC. And for the record, if you're thinking $8,000 is a lot for a PC, you'll be quite surprised. They can range up to anywhere from a good gaming PC can range up to about at least $5,000. Then came with the new desk and new chair. Okay, so now I'm seeing where the $8,000's going. All right, now he spends all his time gaming. He hasn't gone to work. His work allows him to stay at home. He hasn't opened the laptop yet, so he's not working. The only time he talks to me is when he wants me to get him something from the fridge or kitchen. All right. I'm going to just stop there. Yeah, I can see where this is going. If you don't, well, trust me. We're going to find out how worse it gets. All right. He doesn't notice me. Our sex life is in the toilet. What should I do? Hopeless in Hawaii. All right. Hopeless in Hawaii, I know that you're feeling, how can we say this, neglected. And you have every right, because this guy is not doing his job. I know he's not probably making any money. I don't know if he's on vacation or he got fired. I couldn't tell you. But if you really want to grab his attention, Hopeless in Hawaii. Now, I know what some people would say, like the regular, answer givers or advice columnists. They would probably say, have a talk with him, sit down, have a conversation, turn off the computer. No. Here's what the Vixen is telling you to do, Hopeless in Hawaii. Here's what you do. You put on your nastiest, sexiest lingerie. You call his best friend over. You answer the door in your nastiest, sexiest lingerie. And then you announce to your boyfriend that you are going to go have sex with one of his best friends. And then you pick a spot in the house. His bedroom, the kitchen, the living room. Pick a spot and just have sex there and see if he notices you. If he doesn't notice you having sex with his best friend or care that you're having sex with his best friend, there's a good chance you can call off the wedding and just save yourself a headache. But the good news is, at least you got some. All right, so like I said, is this illegal? Possibly. Is it immoral? Maybe. Is it fun? Definitely. All right, second letter. We'll just call him Mr. Romantic. Mr. Romantic writes, Dear Dr. Vixen, again, dressed as somebody else, I'm in love with this beautiful young woman. All right. However, her family is uber religious, and I don't know what to do. They want us to wait to the wedding night before we consummate our love. I am suffering from, as one would say, blue balls. Well, I can't believe you actually put those words, but I am frustrated and I am dying for a release. I am not the only one in the relationship that feels this way. My fiance is really wanting to, how can we say this politely, rock the Casbah. All right. But yet she doesn't want to anger her family for fear that they will not pay for the wedding. What should we do? Signed, Mr. Romantic. Okay. Now, this is a dilemma where the other family is paying for the wedding and they're holding that over your head. This could be multiple scenarios. Now, there are many ways we can handle this. You can just, be respectful, wait until the night and just do whatever you want. However, the Vixen has a different philosophy. My philosophy is when it comes to relationships, it's like buying a car. You just don't buy a car. You check under the hood. You take it, for a test drive. You make sure everything is right before you sign the paperwork. A lot like marriage. You just don't go, oh, well, okay, no, you date. You, like I said, hug a few curbs, hit a few corners, make it count. So my advice to Mr. Romantic is, I just say, do it. And do it on their bed. Why do I say that? Because guess what? If you're gonna, wreck, the wedding, you might as well do it in a place where, if you're going to get caught, you might as well have fun doing it. So I say, do it on her parents' bed, take pictures, and then after the wedding's done, if they don't notice, and if you don't get caught afterwards, send it to them if you really don't want them in your life anymore, because I guarantee you, that will get them thrown out. All right, and the third one. All right, let's see here. The third one, where's that? Yes, here it is. The third one comes from, okay, I didn't expect this one. All right. It comes from a woman who's mature. She's 42 years old. And she says, Dear Dr. Vixen, I am what one would call a cougar. All right, way to go, sister. Love it already. I am being shamed by my friends and my coworkers because of the fact that I enjoy the pleasure and company of younger men. This is getting tiresome to where the point of me being at my job is feeling like I may have to leave. Wow, that's not good. I enjoy having sex with younger men. I don't make any, excuses, nor do I care what people think. I enjoy the company. Signed, Sexually Frustrated in Fresno. All right, Miss Fresno. All right. Now, I understand that, sometimes your job just sucks. And we all have those moments where we have those jobs that suck. Now, if this job is paying your bills, you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons of the situation. Now, can you get another job? I'm pretty sure you could get another job. But is this job paying the bills? Is it the health care? Because you have to wait for it. I mean, you can just ignore your coworkers. All right, that is true. You can just ignore your coworkers, or you can do something about it, which this way might be a little bit illegal, and it could cause a divorce or two, but you may want to consider just screwing your boss if he's a guy and he looks good and he thinks you're, looks awesome and decent and is putting on moves on you. So that way you can get the other bitches fired. Now, will this cause a few divorces? Yeah, it could. Could get a few people fired? Yeah. But it will solve your problem about your coworkers. Just saying. Not exactly moral, but it does work. So if you don't want to go that route, let me give you another alternative. You can just leave. You can just leave your job. But leave your job in a way where, you're never going to come back. So what you could do is hire a male stripper. And go to all these, hire male strippers to every one of your female coworkers. If you're going to, quit your job, on the day you leave, you hire a male stripper for every one of your female coworkers, and just say, now who's the hypocrite, and see if they get aroused or not. Anyways, well, my badass boys and badass babes, hopefully you learned a little bit of life lessons today. Number one, Dr. Ruth, God bless her soul. And please enjoy the afterlife, Dr. Ruth. Second lesson is, if you want advice that's morally bankrupt, definitely come to me. Write me in the comments. I'll read your letters, talk about the situation. How can we say less than moral way of doing it? And the third thing is, don't be afraid to do, how can we say this politely? Take control of your sexual pleasures, as God knows. To quote Dr. Ruth, and I love this, I'm going to end today's video with this. I was watching a little bit of her videos before I did this taping, and I love this because this guy calls, this woman was calling in, she was explaining her problems, that her boyfriend just wasn't doing it, and she said that basically, ladies, you need to teach your man on how to please you, alright? I'm not joking. She did it in a more eloquently old lady way with using just the terminology, just a sweet voice of basically saying, you need to take charge, you need to let your man know, this is what I need to do, this is what I like, and this is how I like it. Well, anyways, my badass boys and badass babes, who's your Vixen, and bye-bye.